Good morning, class. Today we are taking our science class, chapter 15, Water, part 2. So, till now we had discussed how the water disappears due to the process of evaporation or it changes into water vapor. Now we'll study that about loss of water by plants. See, we have studied in plants uses a part of, we know that when we are growing plants, we are giving them water, and water is used for plants to prepare their food and retain some of it in their parts. Remaining part of the water is released by the plant into the air as water vapor through the process of transpiration. You must have seen, we have told you that this tiny droplets you can see in the morning, that is through transpiration excess of water from the plants is lost. So water vapor enters the air through the process of evaporation and transpiration. It is lost forever. Nowhere gets it back, as well as we see. Now, next activity we will understand. Till now we have understood one part of the water cycle, that is how water disappears. It disappears due to the heat of the sun. Now, next is how our clouds form. Let us understand it with the help of an activity. Take a glass half filled with water. Take a glass and then from the outside clean the glass with a cloth. Now what you have to do is you have to add some ice into it. Wait for 2 minutes. Now when you observe, what will you find? You will find that some droplets appear on the outer side of the glass. The cold surface of the glass containing ice water cools the air around it, and the water vapor of the air condenses on the surface of the glass. We have done it in our previous chapters also. The process of condensation, the process of condensation Now, the process of condensation plays an important role in bringing water back into the surface of earth. How, how does it happen? Let us understand. As we go higher from the surface of the earth, the air becomes cooler. When the air moves up, it gets cooler and cooler. At sufficient height, the air becomes so cool that the water vapor present in the in it condenses to form tiny drops of water called droplets. It is these tiny droplets that remains floating in the air and appears to us as cloud. This is how the clouds are formed. What happens? This water vapor goes up into the air. As they go higher, it becomes cooler, and one time it condenses and becomes droplet. It so happens that many droplets of water come together to form a large size of drops of water. Some drops of water become so heavy that they begin to fall. These falling water drops are what we call rain. This is how the rain is formed. In special condition, what happens if it is much cooler inside? It falls in the form of hail and snow. That is why in a colder region like Kashmir, you get snow, not rain in winter. Thus, water in the form of vapor goes into the air by evaporation and transpiration, forms cloud, and then comes back to the form to the ground as rain, hail, or snow. Now, next step is, first is that the water is going up. Now it is coming back and the rain is falling everywhere. It is not that it is falling on the oceans only. Now, how does this rainwater goes back to the ocean? Let us understand this. What happens to the water that rain and snow brings to the different region of the earth? Almost all land surfaces are above the level of the ocean. Most of the water that falls on the land as rain and snow sooner or later goes back to the ocean. How does this happen? Snow in the mountain melts into water. This water flows down from the mountain in the form of streams and rivers. Some of the water that falls on the land as rain also flows into form a river, or they become and stream. Most of the river covers longer distance on land and ultimately falls into the sea or ocean. However, water of some river flows into the lake. That is how the lakes are formed. This river flows into the lake. The rainwater also helps the lake and pond. A part of the rainwater gets absorbed. When the rain is falling, it gets absorbed in the ground and seems to disappear in the soil. Yes, you must have seen it sometimes. Some of the water is brought back to the air by the process of evaporation and transpiration. The the rest seep into the ground. Most of the water becomes available in the groundwater. We say that water table has. So this is where we get water from the well are fed by the groundwater. Groundwater is the source for many lakes as well. Means in many lakes the water we get it from underground, and underground water we get from when the rain is falling and the soil absorbs it inside, and that water seeps into the more hand pumps or tube wells that are used in an area, the deeper we need to dig to find the groundwater. The loss in the level of groundwater due to the overuse is worrisome. So, you have understood, we know that the water brought back to the surface of the earth by rain, hail, snow goes back to the ocean. Thus, water from the ocean and the surface of the earth goes into air as vapor, returns as rain, hail or snow, and finally goes back to the ocean. This circulation of water in the manner is known as water cycle. Now you have understood what water cycle is. The circulation of water between ocean and land is a continuous process. This maintains the supply of water on the land. This is all for